Life is hard. There are many obstacles you need to pass. Some may not feel worth it, but they all help you step forward in life. I was born into a small mining town south of the mines. Every morning the men would leave to go to work. The kids were taught young on how to swing the pick and look for ores. At the age of 10, most kids would go to the mines to start their first day. They were useful because they could get places that others couldn't fit. Their small hands could tinker and fit in narrow gaps of machines. When I reached 10, my father was proud. He said, "Finally, some damn use. More hands means more money. Those new Wyoming Dominion are ruining everything." My father and I got all the stuff we needed for work. The next day we walked along the path to the mines, where we met with the other workers. The first day was miserable, and so was every other day. That would be the start, most likely the start, of my first great obstacle in life, was getting used to the life of working. The next obstacle was the biggest and had drastically changed my life. One day they had me squeeze through a crack in the wall into a more narrower tunnel. They handed me a satchel of explosives, and I needed to plant them in to help widen the tunnel. They had me trail a wire behind me so that I could connect it to the charge, and then so I could also find my way back. They told me that once I connected the wire, the first light on the device will light up, and then a few seconds later, the second light will light up, and then I will have 30 seconds to leave before it blows. If it beeps, something is wrong, and I need to leave right away. So I grabbed the satchel and slinged it over my shoulder. I also grabbed the wire and squeezed through the narrow passage. I walked until the wire was tight and I could not pull it any longer. I placed the charge against the wall, I inserted the wire into the power input, and instantly a light flipped on and a loud beep went off. I freaked out, stood up, and ran back following that wire. It all happened so fast. A loud noise, a flash of light. Heat tickled the right side of my body as I squeezed through the gap and made it back to the main tunnel. I felt so much pain that I passed out soon after that. I woke up in my room. I was in my bed and a light sheet was covering me. I tried to move the sheet, but I couldn't move my right arm. Using my left arm, I removed the sheets to see a scarred body. I was covered in bandages, and my right arm was just a nub. I knew that myself injured, I couldn't work. There would be nothing for a one-armed man. Months went by as I would sit on my porch and just debate with myself about going on. I was useless, a waste of space and effort. Over time I got my strength back and I could walk. I would just sometimes walk forever. I would go out into the wastes and not come home for days. I would just sleep below the stars and enjoy the beauty of life and nature. Shortly after coming home, I managed to get a job as a mechanic for the mining machines. It was a hard job, but I could do it. I had to really learn more about technology and machines. During all this time, people started to get more and more restless about the new Wyoming Dominion, or the NWD. More riots appeared all over, and groups of people calling themselves a resistance started to show up. And the one man that started the resistance arrived at our little town to meet with people. And that day, he met with me. We talked and talked for hours. He saw my interest in technology. He told me that when Everything is different, that I need to come and find him. Back then I had no clue what he meant, but in the months to come, when riots turned to war, and we seceded from the new Wyoming Dominion, I understood what he meant. Months into the war, I had moved to Ironclad City to meet with that man I met with so long ago. Since the last time I saw him, he became the leader of the resistance. Mortimer was his name. Mortimer knew who I was instantly, and told me he wanted to add me to the circle. But to do so, I needed to prove myself to him. So I was put into a secured car, and I was driven to the warehouse. I ordered a bunch of robotic and metal parts. While I waited for the parts, I brainstormed and drew up many blueprints, schematics, days upon days of just planning and sketching. I built machine after machine, but none of them was what I was wanting. I needed some inspiration, something that would help people, help me. Then I finally got that inspiration. Prototype after prototype, many pre-war books on medicine, the body, and robotics led me to my greatest invention. And when I was finally finished and I believed that I finally done it, I went straight to the phone and called up Mortimer. Mortimer arrived an hour later, and when he walked in, he saw my creation, a new arm. I showed him that it works like an actual arm, and that it is connected with my nerves, so it has basic touching sense where I need to be able to feel. Mortimer told me, "You are going to help me make a difference in this world. You will help me make the citizens love me and want to stay with the resistance. Damen, there are many good people here. People that were hurt, just like you. And what you have done here can help others." So I began prototyping many different limbs and sent them to a facility where they would make more of them and help attach them to more injured and scarred people, just like me. Mortimer had added me to his group of advisors. I was promoted to a scribe, which is a higher up within the circle. Mortimer had given me an armor that only his scribes wear. All of his scribes are incredible scientists with a passion, each having their own interest. Now today I am the most robust and influential scribe under Mortimer's wing. I have created many powerful machines and robots that guard our lands from enemies. Not a lot of our people are out there fighting. It's mostly my machines. That is my story to my life. I overcame the greatest obstacle because of my actions and strengths to continue and not give up. Because I wanted to make a greater life for myself.